It says we're live! Okay. Yay. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Master Tier Gaming, formerly D20 Advice, up until fairly recently. I'm also getting the sound. Why did I leave the sound on for that tab? There. But yes, anyway. Hello. Welcome to the Citadel of Uril. This is session 3 of this particular activity, this episode, this session, this thing that we're doing. What are we doing?
A thing.
We're ransacking an ancient civilization for jollies. And also, as I understand it on my notes here, Shams owes me a horse and a wedding. So I don't.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes, this is the Citadel of Uril. This is a D&D adventure of my own design, designed for, or rather refined from previous things that I've done for Con+, the charity live stream event. We were all there, aside from Danny. Danny is a newcomer to join us partway through this adventure, which was carried on because I grossly misjudged how long the adventure would actually take, on top of the fact that there were technical delays in the first place. So, without much further ado, I shall quickly recap the events up to where we are, and then we'll have you guys introduce your characters and also yourselves. And you can feel free to mention any other projects that people can find you working in if that's something that you want to do. So, this adventure began with each of the characters, aside from Danny's character, Mushroom, receiving a letter from Simon Basal, a drunkard by discovery, who had a divine vision and sent letters out to everyone to say, come here, there is treasure and adventure, and it's very important. The exact nature of his vision is not clear, but he managed to find each of you wherever you happen to be and sent you these letters, summoned you all to this pub where you found him and found that he had a map and the small crystal shards. Reading the map, you managed to find your way to the lost Citadel of Uril, an ancient complex from an empire ages past. Upon reaching there, after an arduous journey, you met two groups of elves, the Tackentires and the Edels. The Edels being your typical haughty high elf family, and the Tackentires being a bit more fast and loose. Garan Tackentire being the more fun of the group. Venturing inside after some nice work by Flint, just to quickly check character names there, managing to open the way that the elves were stuck at. You guys entered, found Mushroom trapped inside this amberized magical construct. Seems that he was fighting an ancient fey creature and tried to capture it and failed to do so. It captured him instead. So he's been stuck there for Lord knows how many years. But now you guys have released him, worked your way through an abandoned library section after climbing down through the tower bit that was jutting out of a hill, and worked your way through to what must have been an entrance hall or some kind of large passageway that seems to be devoid of furniture, but had a thick layer of silt and water. Upon getting partway through, a pressure plate was pressed, and two giant wrought iron doors slammed down into their positions, trapping you inside the room, the vibrations of which collapsed in the ceiling, and the huge lake that has developed over time that was set above this section started deluging into the chamber. This also awoke some skeletons that were stuck in the silt, and in the churning, muddy waters, it has been very difficult for you to see. Some of you don't have dark vision, which has made it very difficult for you to see. You made your way to the other side of the room, lifted the wrought iron door, and one of you, I believe it was Flint, managed to get through to the other side momentarily and had a look. and saw that it was a small guard room with a tunnel leading downwards. There's attacks from skeletons, some spells were cast, and then the last thing that we had was Flint hearing a skittering coming from down that tunnel. So there's a flooding chamber behind you and a strange tunnel with weird noises ahead of you. And that is where we open. So to begin with, let's start with Shamas. Would you mind introducing yourself and your character?
Hi, my name is Shamus. I play Flint Frostbeard, dwarven war cleric, itching for a fight, but itching more for a pint. Yeah, I'm the head voice actor at Shamus Voiceovers. If you wanted to check me out on YouTube, you're more than welcome. Yeah, so on to the next person.
Nice. Laith, would you mind introducing yourself and your character?
All right. So I'm Laith, also known as Darius Jonna. I am a fellow YouTuber and bullshitter extraordinaire. All the same, I'll quickly listing through it. I am administrator, layout, and editor for Power Up Gamer, Games for Accessibility, who we've actually just released our second big release of the year. So we're getting it right before the Christmas rush. So by all means, you'll see that in the description and in the chat, like when I post it in a second. Also, I play Gamut Furlog, the not so much a dwarf extraordinaire, more like a half-orc skald criminal. This guy has been around. He's been through the wars, so to speak. And this is actually going to be his last ride. So this is the final ride of Gamut Furlog. Hopefully, his 8 armor class will not have as much effect on the world as it did last time.
Oh, that went down the wrong hole. He said.
Oh
anyway, Scott, would you mind introducing yourself and your character?
Hi, I'm Scott. I've got no YouTube channel. I just came for the Con+, and I'm a human fighter. And he's one of the guys without the dark vision. He's thinking the dwarf might be trying to kill him at this time. And his back's a little sore from holding the door.
Yeah. Soben had a rather interesting time last time with a very innovative use of the hold person spell. And finally, we have Danny. Would you mind introducing yourself and your character?
Hello, I'm Danny. I am playing Mushroom, the fungus-obsessed lizardman druid who was trapped in the amber and served great exposition roles in the last session. I also run Little Details Painting on Instagram, where I am a professional painter of D&D miniatures and basically anything else I can get my paintbrush on. In January, I think it is, me and Drew are also launching a podcast together.
Ooh.
Exciting times.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will be called Unrelatable Content.
Because
I'm a bit worried about the gloves now.
Well,
Sounds super relatable.
I think knock the on off of that bit, mate. I mean, well, you do you. What do I know? I've only tanked like 3 podcasts.
To be fair, like we go off on tangents, and I think a couple of times we've managed to get back on topic.
Yeah.
A feat in and of itself.
That's really unrelatable.
But myself, I am Drew Murray. I run Master Tier Gaming, formerly D20 Advice. It's a professional games mastering service, and I occasionally dabble in putting up YouTube videos and doing podcasts and things. Apparently, I do things. I just can't sit still. So yeah, that's all of us. Feel free to say hi in the chat. We are moderating our own chat, so bear with us. I won't always be looking at it, but don't swear and cuss each other out, and it's fine. So that's where we were with the adventure. We have some people on one side of the door. In fact, we have pretty much everyone on one side of the door, with the exception of Flint, if memory serves, being on the other side of the door, hearing this skittering coming from down the tunnel. And I struggled to find in the recording, because I didn't listen to the whole last session again, just for the benefit of everyone else. I threw away my notes from last session. It's in this pile of papers, because it had initiative orders on. I threw loads of those away. So I listened back to the previous episode, and I was skipping about to try and find the important bits. And I can't find whether or not Flint ducked back under the door into the main chamber or not.
Oh, I don't think he did.
And I also can't find if Soben let go of the door.
He is currently holding on to the door.
Brilliant.
He was just attacked by a skeleton, I think.
Yes.
So far, he's holding on to the door.
And the skeleton itself took damage from the sort of angelic figures whirling around.
Yes.
From that spell, which I can't remember the name of, but I love the spell. It's really cool.
Spirit Guardians, is it?
That's the
I'm
one.
pretty sure it is, yeah.
Yes. So we had that. I no longer have the initiative order in front of me, so we'll begin the session by rolling for initiative and have a brand new initiative order.
Can you trust me when I say that I rolled a 20?
I can trust you. And I
No,
will
you
trust
can't, because actually there's no way I could roll it. Right. So I rolled an 11.
Okay.
So that is 19 total for Flint.
Nice. Lath betraying my trust this early on. I don't know, man.
I've got a 3.
3 for Soben. What's Mushroom?
5 total.
We're doing well, lads. We're doing well. Okay, so we begin with Flint on the far side of this door. What are you going to do?
Well, to start with, this is just after I've heard the skittering, isn't it? So
Yes.
I'm going to sort of shout under the door, guys, we've got company on this side as well. And sort of ready myself, whatever's coming up the stairs, whilst also trying to maintain concentration on Spirit Guardians, because it's a thing. Can I hold my action for whatever's coming up the stairs?
Yes, although you will need to define what action it is that you want to hold specifically. So
An attack action, melee attack.
Okay. Right, so that's being held in perpetuity as the skeletons outside are being constantly buffeted by the spirit guardians. I will ask just briefly, is it the beginning of their turn that they take damage? If they start the turn?
Double check my spells. Get my... Where are my spells, mate?
They're in your spell book, brah.
In my spell... Where have I put my spell book now, mate? I think it's dead.
In your belt where you keep all your stuff.
All right, mate. Let's see. It is Spirit Guardians. When you cast the spell, doesn't use any number of creatures.
Making me grab my own book. Oh, God. Here he goes.
Well, so they need to make a save on their turn. I think. I'm not sure. Is it a constant thing, or is it just?
Yes. So it's when they enter the area for the first time, or start their turn there.
Okay, so yeah, they need to make a Wisdom save against my DC, which is 13.
They fail.
Okay, so they take 3d8 damage. Where's my d8? Is that my d8? No, that's my
So you
d8.
can get higher than 6 this time.
Fingers crossed. Oh, well, that's an 8 first time out, so that's a 16. And that is 22.
Dude.
Damage. I'm rolling so much better this time.
Telling me. So in that case, these skeletons raising their rusted blades to swing back down against Soben and Mushroom for a second slash, just as their blades go inches from Soben's own sword that he can't bring up to parry, in fact. So it's Soben's shoulder. It is wrenched away by these angels pulling at this skeleton, dashing it against the far wall, and it shatters into just a collection of bones and grime on the floor. These skeletons are utterly destroyed.
Nice.
Which now means that you've got everyone pulling up onto the top of the stairs. You've got Geran there now. He is the only surviving elf. All the others got dragged under the water.
Oh, elf.
A moment of silence.
And so that's everyone here. Geran braces up against the door, his sword out, pointing backwards, trying to catch his breath. Is that everyone?
I think so. I think we've got some company on this side. You better come under the door quick.
Better. And he ducks and rolls. Just as he rolls, the water rises just above the lip of the top step and starts to gush towards the door. It is now Lath's turn.
Gamma is going to kind of... Actually, here's going to be a thing. Like... would I know that the elves are beyond saving? Because I got some magic to heal, and I'm wondering about maybe doing something to help them out. You know, I don't really want to be doing that if it's just going to, you know.
The few that you see body parts flailing in the water, you see like skeletons rising up and plunging daggers into their chests and stuff. Okay. So even if you were able to heal at a distance, they're still like swarmed by skeletons.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to shout to everybody, get out of the water. And then I'm going to wait. I'm basically going to, I'm going to hold my turn. I'm readying an action, which is when everybody who I don't want to kill is out of the water, I am going to use, I'm going to use my spear. And my spear's magical ability is legitimately, like, I chuck it, and it causes, like, it basically turns into Gungnir out of, like, you know, Norse mythology, and it hits somebody with the power of a raging thunderbolt. And yeah, I'm going to, like, electrocute these guys and give them a nasty time. So yeah, that's going to be my thing. That's going to be my thing.
In that case, after your action, a shifting motion can be seen down the tunnel by Flint, and a claw reaches against the wall and pulls a face forward into the limits of his vision. Flint can see that down this tunnel, it appears to be a giant insectoid creature. Large compound eyes, a slobbering mouth with a small bottom jaw opening wide between two giant sets of mandibles that clatter and chitter together. I would like Flint to give me a history, a nature, or an arcana check.
History, nature. Well, all of them are -1, so it doesn't really matter. Fun times.
Pick one, because it'll change nature of the result.
I'm going to go with history, and that is 15 total.
15 total.
Yeah, there's a natural 16, and I've got a -1 on anything intelligence-based. So...
You've heard of a great many things like this, but never seen anything written down. This is something where tunneling very deep into the side of some distant mountains, dwarves would find these in ancient elven citadels lost beneath the ground. Usually they've been pulled there by demonic forces. These creatures scuttling around the place have no known origin, but they always seem to be wherever elves were and are no longer. They're dangerous. They also seem to disappear and reappear at random. But you do know that while unsettling to look at and able to turn the most hardy soldier in the dwarven army to a gibbering mess in the corner, they are sensitive to light, and they will shy away from it wherever possible.
Right, he's going to sort of stay sort of squared up to it and sort of shout back, guys. Actually, would Flint know the name of the creature, or like the general like species name, or would there be like...
There's a name given to them by the dwarves. It is Meanlock.
Meanlock. Right, guys, there's a bloody Meanlock in here. Get your asses in here now. I can't deal with this by myself.
And then a second claw on the other side of the tunnel reaches, and a second head pulls forward. It is now Mushroom's turn.
Okay. Right. Mushroom is going to head into the guard tower room.
So heading under the
door, yeah. Does he know that these things are sensitive to bright light? Is that something that... Sorry,
you can make a nature or arcana check.
Yep, nature. 1.
It's not something that you'd know off by hand. Offhand or off by heart.
In that case, he is going to crack his staff on the ground, and his mushrooms cough out along his entire body a little plume of spores, which roll down to the ground and spread around him. And he then taps his staff a second time, causing mushrooms to burst out of the staff itself. He's just awakened his halo of spores and cast the chalet hand trap. And that's his turnover.
Nice. And finally, we have Soben. Now, Gamut is not on the other side of this door. He's still on the side where the water's starting to flood up.
Okay.
But yeah, so when you feel the water start to splash around your feet, this is going to start becoming an even bigger problem soon. And you need to make... yes, you cast off the hold person thing, didn't you?
Yeah,
Yes.
he didn't. He didn't hold.
Yes. So I'm going to need another athletics check if you're going to keep the door up.
Okay. 14.
14 total. You start to slip. The door lowers a few inches. You've now got about maybe half a foot, just a bit more clearance underneath. Someone could squeeze under, but it's getting harder and harder to keep this thing aloft. You still have the rest of your turn. You can still spend your action. You can pull away from it.
Can I try to dead press it and lift it higher for my turn, or
Yes.
was the athletic okay?
So yeah, give me another athletics check. Because Geran sees what you're doing, he'll help you, so you'll get advantage on this check, and he'll try and lift it up with you.
Okay, yeah, I needed that advantage. Still a 14.
14 total. So that's with your strength and stuff added.
Right.
So Geran bracing his shoulder underneath to try and lift it up. Unfortunately, the two of you slip down with the water splashing around you, and the two of you keep it a few inches up, but now you're both prone, holding it up with just your forearms. Yeah. This is going to start becoming a crushing disadvantage. But we swing back around to Flint. Nothing is close enough to have triggered your attack.
Okay, right.
But they're now about 50 to 60 feet away.
Right, okay, so what's the... Is it 50 to 60 feet? Okay, so in that case, I am going to assume it's hostile and cast Sacred Flame as a cantrip. It's a 13 dex saving throw.
One of them fails, one of them succeeds.
Okay, so I think with...
Oh, is it against one target, or...?
If the target must succeed a dexterity saving throw, take 1d8 radiant damage. The target gains no benefit from cover. Spell damage. Yeah, I don't think it's half. I think it's just if it saves, it doesn't take any.
Yeah.
And
it's on one creature. So we'll say it's the one that failed to save, because that was the first one that I rolled. Yeah, I rolled for both of them for some silly reason. But yeah, so he fails, so he takes 1d8 radiant damage.
That is 8 damage. 8 radiant damage.
8 radiant damage. Let's make that 16.
Oh, yeah, it is 2, isn't it? This is 5th level. 8. Oh, no, that's 8 again. Christ, I'm rolling bloody well with my d8 tonight. Touch wood. Yes, that's 16 radiant damage.
Oh. In that case...
It's 2d8 for 5th level, I think.
Brilliant. So yeah, while still concentrating on these spirit guardians swirling round and realizing that you need to sort of refocus and get them attacking these mean locks, you thrust your hand forward, holy symbol in hand, and a shock of light blasts out, so twisting and twirling through the air. And as it strikes this creature, this mean lock, it lights up the area immediately around him and engulfs him in flame, burning him down to the ground, and lets out this shrill scream. As his body conflagrates, you notice the horde behind him. There must be about a half dozen as far as you could see, and there was more movement in the dim light just before the light snuffs out.
Right, okay.
You killed one.
Killed one. And yet there's another half dozen. Fantastic. If I... oh, I've taken my action, haven't I?
Taking your action, but if you've got a bonus action that you're able to take, you can do that. I'm trying to think of bonus actions that you'd be eligible to take. You haven't attacked.
Yeah, that's the bonus actions to weapon fighting.
You could move, and so your spirit guardians, because they're around you, the edge of the spirit guardians would hit the mean locks sooner. But then you'd be closer to the mean locks too.
Spiritual... No, yes, but yeah, no, never mind. Casting spiritual weapon would be an action, but I think it's moving it as a bonus action. Right, does anyone need healing, per se?
I'm good right now.
Yep, good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, Sobin's still got most of those temporary hit points. You only lost a few of those, didn't you?
Yeah, I've still got 3.
Yeah. All right. Fair. I will. He'll just get into a defensive stance then and wait for more of them to come up.
Brilliant. Which they do immediately. These things move with a strange swiftness. Some of them disappear as soon as they get to the edge of your vision and reappear much, much closer. They dash towards you, screeching, clacking their huge pincer claws, and leaping towards you. At which point they enter the field of the Spirit Guardians, these angels whipping around and doing damage. So they will need to make a wisdom saving throw. Oh, and it's radiant damage for this as well. Jesus. That's a failure. So there'll be 3 of them entering. That's a 9. That's +0, so that's a failure. And that's a 12. And I think you told me it was 13?
Yep, it's 13.
So that's 3d8 on 3 of them.
Right. It's a 6. It's a 2. And that's an 8. So that's 16.
As soon as they appear before you and dash into the area of these angels swooping around you, some of them duck down to near the ground and dive upwards, grabbing the heads of these creatures, launching them up towards the ceiling with great speed and crushing their skulls before letting them go and continuing to fly around about you. These 3 creatures are dead.
Nice.
So to be fair, you just killed 4 of them.
This
yes,
is going much better than expected.
more of them are still oncoming. However, they do appear to balk at seeing so many of their friends dying and stop at the edge. Next, we have Gamut.
All right. So I'm not, I thought I wasn't the only one on the other side. So I'm now going to go and save my mate who has just put himself out for me. So I want to go and basically try to, work with Sarek and Garrick and everybody else, ending with Ek, and lift the door. But what I'm also going to do is that as I go forward, I'm going to reach into my pack and take out a very sturdy but very badly beaten up looking piece of metal called a crowbar. And I'm going to use this crowbar as a cantilever. And I'm basically going to be using it as a method of keeping if we can get it open enough, jamming the door open.
Nice.
Okay.
It's weird. It's almost like Scott asked last time, is there anything we can do to probably open the door? And then that entire concept was just like, nah, we'll cast hold person, it'll be fine.
Well, I must defend myself. I must defend myself from the impunity being cast upon me. And that being that when Scott put that idea forward, I was across the room from a room full of skeletons that I was very desperately trying to not die from.
Absolutely right.
So now I'm here. Oh shit, Scott, that's a great idea.
And I suppose hurling a crowbar across the room and hoping someone catches it is not the wisest of ideas.
Does anyone have a crowbar? Just chuck it into the fucking room, into the water. I gave a skeleton some kind of great power.
So yes, you have your crowbar. You can try and lever it up. Make an athletics check with advantage because you've got both Sobin and Garan trying to lift this door up. And the DC will be also much lower. You just need to make a 10.
All right.
So you're not trying to hoist it or maintain it or anything. You're using a thing to...
Can I use the inspiration that I got last time to re-roll that?
I'm afraid not.
Let me see if I can jigger this so that you can actually see what I've rolled. Okay, I'll just put them here.
Is it 2 1s?
No, it's a bit better. There. Turn it upside down so you can see it. That's a 7, and that's a 7.
I can't quite see. I can see Citadel paints, but I will trust you.
That's a 7, and that's another 7. I've rolled 2 7s, and altogether that is 8.
As you push the crowbar underneath and try and scrape it along the ground to help prop it up, the weight of the door pushes down hard, and you now have a slightly bent crowbar.
This is a heavy door.
This was my favourite crowbar.
Had a name and everything.
R.I.P. Crowbar.
So that was
sorry, just a bit bent. I love it all the same.
That was your action. You can, if you want, shrug your shoulders and just go, "Oh well," and quickly pull yourself under the door. There's enough clearance for you to get your head through.
If I can still do that, yes. But what I'd also like to do is, even if I'm on the other, when I get to the other side, I don't want to leave there. Let's see if I can. Yes. Before I go under, I'm going to use a bonus action, and I'm going to give my good mate right here bardic inspiration. Bonus action, because I can do that, and then I'm going to go. And then I'm going to go under.
Sweet. What's your bardic inspiration die at the moment? Is it D6?
My die is, I believe it's still a D6. I don't get it. Oh wait, no, it's a D8. Yeah, because we're 5th level. Yeah.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, 8th. It is 8th.
Brilliant. So that means, Scott, when it comes back around to your turn, you will get an extra D8 to roll and add it to your D20.
I say, I put my hand on Sarek's shoulder and I say, "Thank you so much. If this kills you, I promise, I'll talk to your child about it," and I'll crawl under them. So your child, you've died well.
Mushroom, standing next to Flint, you've witnessed these creatures get buffeted against the ceiling. One of them catch on fire. What you going to do?
How far are they now?
They are hovering just at the edge of the whirling angels, which means that they're 15 feet away.
Okay, he is going to close in a bit and then extend his palm, and a puffball begins to grow in his palm of his hand, which he then crushes and casts out the spores, casting the poison spray cantrip.
Ooh,
nice.
Okay, so
Constitution saving throw.
Let's just throw. Oh, that was a natural 1. Poison spray.
It's 2d12 at 5th level. Poison damage.
It's towards a creature, single creature.
Yep.
Well, that sucks. So yeah, do you do d12 damage?
If I can find my d12s. That's 10.
If you can't, they take no damage.
Found them. Found them. That's 11.
It would be cool if it applied the poison condition as well.
Hmm.
Oh well. As you extend your hand and shoot this poison spray from that crushed mushroom, one of these creatures breathes in the spores and starts coughing and gasping, falling to the ground. As it stands back up, you notice part of its face start to undulate, to wobble, and pull back slightly. As it does so, it reveals some of the skeletal structure around the eye, and you note that there are some bits moving out of the way to reveal more of this as the skin stretches, and then it moves back into place. Could Mushroom give me another nature or arcana check?
Nature.
Flint can also make a nature or arcana check.
I'll make. Yeah, I'm guessing you're doing nature.
Yes, I was doing nature.
I'll do
5.
That is 11 total.
Mushroom, seeing this skull, realizes that it's more humanoid than insectoid, that the chitinous structure to a lot of its body is a distraction from how most of it, from its quill-covered hunchback to its mandibled face, a lot of it is fleshy and spongy, which is unlike a lot of insectoid subterranean creatures. Flint recognizes that this kind of stretching can happen when a transformation has been disrupted. That perhaps these creatures were once something else and are now these meanlocks. But the way in which this revelation appeared, the way the skin stretched back, it was demonstrative of how powerful the magic is. This isn't likely a transformation that you could reverse. And then we have Sobin.
All right. Well, we're going to try to bench press the door again.
All right.
Hey, natural 20.
Way.
Well, hey,
Well done.
the
Nice one.
door is open. Our greatest enemy.
It's the bardic inspiration that did it.
As you manage to pull your arms up onto your knees, pulling yourself up, and then lifting with your legs, you and Garan both are able to push this door up. But you, being taller than Garan, managed to lift it all the way above your head and above Garan before beyond what he can help you with. He quickly dashes underneath, sword still pointing out towards the water. A couple of skeletons now slapping the bony hands at the top of the stairs. The water's now getting to about an inch high on this level and splashing into this guard room. You can now, if you want, basically like swivel to be on the other side and let go if you wanted.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
All right. As you get into the other room, let go of the door, it slams with an almighty clatter. Doing so, you hear through the muffled iron door the sound of more rocks splashing from the ceiling and a louder splash as more water gushes down into it, flooding the entire room within a few seconds.
Okay.
Can't go back that way. That was the action. And so we're back around to Flint.
Impressive, their fighter. Good amount of strength.
It's the AC/DC music that did it.
Of course, can't beat a good bit of AC/DC. Right then, I'm going to cast Sacred Flame at the closest Minlock.
And I shall make my save. No, I won't. I'll roll a 10. That's what I'll do.
Okay, so that is 2d8 again. That's a 2. And that's another 2. So that's 4 damage.
4. So he takes 8. As the flame erupts around him, this Meanlock pulls himself back, snapping his claws, and eventually the flames subside, and he turns and stares at you. His eyes blink, but from a lid inside these compound eyes. And you notice that each of the segments seem to be just disrupting the light coming through, rather than actually being separate eyes in a compound eye system. That this is like a lens put over the top. And then it's their turn. They will begin retreating down the corridor. The ones towards the back being scampered on top of, but the rest of them keeping their eyes locked on you, especially Flint, takes steps backwards slowly down the corridor. The occasional roar and gnashing of jaw. Damn it.
Right, I'm going to turn my microphone back on, and then I'm going to basically kind of go over and shout to Flint, like, "So, what do we have?" Okay. Like the assumption is that I'm just looking at this and I just.
Oh, Shama's just disappeared.
Yeah, I know. That was the worry that I had. I was worried that I wasn't heard. But like the point is that I just want to kind of receive a Cliff Notes version of like what the hell these creatures are. And I mean assumptive on we receive that, I'm going to basically reach into my pocket and take out one of the and see if any of my torches are actually like dry enough to use. I know I was in the water, but like if they're sensitive to light.
Give me a survival skill check.
Ooh. Let's see if I have survivals. I don't have survival. Okay.
It'll be straight wisdom.
It is a 17.
Your torches, the material that's holding the flammable component together, was sufficiently dry that you're able to light them.
So yeah, I'm going to light them. Assumptive on thing. If Shamus comes back and says no, I don't really.
He is back.
Forward. Okay. Shamus, I asked Flint what's going on here, and like the hope is that you can kind of like tell me, oh, we need light, because I got torches and stuff to light up and stuff.
Yeah, I think I remember Drew mentioning that was part of the history or part of the history check I made at the start. So yeah, these guys, they really don't like light. You might want to.
Okay, so I'm gonna pretty much immediately get out a thing and strike it against itself or something like that. I can't just help but imagine that it's a giant match, but whatever. I'm gonna just like light up this torch, and then I'm gonna start brandishing the torch at these guys, seeing if I can get some kind of response from them.
Immediately, claws go up to block their eyes, and they hiss as they're retreating down this tunnel.
I kind of go, ha ha ha. This is the most powerful I've felt in a while. No, I don't say that. I just kind of say, oh, they're big sweeties once you stick a light in their face. Yeah, and that's going to be mine. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another one of my bardic inspirations, and I'm going to pop it onto Flint. And base it, and like what I would actually say is that it'll be like the image of me kind of like brandishing the stuff across, kind of like maybe would counteract any of the dread or anything like that Flint is feeling about having to deal with a great big horde of these bastards, Or whatever it would be, Flint. I don't want to be sort of sitting there saying that you're a, I don't want to be stepping on you.
Mushroom.
He is seeing the reaction that the Murlocs, were they? Morlocks?
Meanlocks.
Meanlocks, that's it. Thinking of the time traveler. He is going to reach forward for his staff with his free hand with the shield and touch one of the mushrooms. Then begins to glow with the bright light of the daylight spell.
Ooh.
And then he's going to follow them down the corridor.
What's the range of daylight? I haven't seen that
60
spell.
feet of bright light, I think.
Nice. Yeah, 60 feet of bright
Right.
light, and then
dim
60
light.
feet of dim light additionally. Yeah, you cast that, and this bright light fills the entire room, shoots down the corridor, and you get even louder, more cacophonous screeches and hisses from these things moving away. You notice that their skin starts to strain and pull back away from the light almost, exposing bone underneath. As they're moving back and the light is moving beyond them, you see that it was more than just a half dozen. There is a horde of these things, but that at the bottom of this tunnel heading down, you see that there's a room that they are retreating into. And that room has an odd green glow just at the edge of your vision. It's something that was so faint it was barely registering. But now that some of these mean locks are moving out the way and you've got this extra light to contrast it with, you can see that there's a bit of green glow going on. So this tunnel goes down for about 80 feet. And there's a doorway and a room beyond.
Mushroom turns back. Another door can be seen ahead. Shall we continue?
Aye, let's go. Flint will just kind of make a beeline for the door.
So
Yep.
I will. Oh,
No, go on.
I'm just going to ready my sword, my great sword, and also have a torch. Maybe I'll pull an extra one out and light it off of Lath's torch as well for a backup in case the light spell fails.
Brilliant. Let's just double check the daylight spell there for duration.
1 hour.
It's supposed to be 1 hour, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus another hour for every spell slot used.
It's been a while since someone's cast a daylight spell.
For me, anyway.
It's been a while, guys. Cobwebs down there. Anyway. Moving down the corridor. Heading down there, moving with your light source and your whirling angels. You can hear them whooshing around, but they turn a little fainter as the enemies draw further and further away, almost as though the angels become a bit more solid whenever there's danger. Start heading down this tunnel, and there's a shuddering of the room behind you that you've just left. Garan whirls around and says, friend of yours? That's when some of the mean locks disappear entirely, just blinking out of vision in front of you. Most of them are still there, but a few of them have disappeared. Flint.
Right, so I've left the room now, haven't I? I'll head back up and see what he's referencing.
As you turn, there is a tall, dark figure stood at the top of the tunnel. It has extremely long arms, ending in hands that look as big as a man's torso. Long, spindly, spider-like legs that bend in a few too many places to be a normal humanoid's. But other than that, the form does seem to be that of a humanoid. It is hunched over, its head scraping along the ceiling. Even with the daylight spell shining in all directions, it is this dark mass figure. The floor beneath it and behind it, this bubbling, broiling, liquid-looking thing.
Flint is going to sort of get in front of the elf, get into like a defensive fighting position. I'd like to hold a melee attack with my warhammer, if that's all right.
Yep.
Until it gets close enough, and kind of just go, get down the stairs.
He slaps a hand on your shoulder, pulls your head towards his, and gives it a little butt. Greeting, one of your kin taught me. You fight well, dwarf. You fight very well.
I'll sort of, as he sort of brings the head in for like the headbutt, I'll grab the back of his and kind of nut him a little bit as well. And, aye, proper dwarven greeting. Oh, go save yourself. Get the others downstairs. Proper.
This guy is just awesome. I am the most unelf elf to ever elf.
And he starts rushing down the slope. As he does so, he takes his sword out again and charges towards the Meanlocks, ready for combat. This tall creature reaches its hand outwards. As it gets closer and closer, it's almost as though the light is pushing back this black goo that was all over it. As it recedes, you note that it's dripping along its body, down slickly onto the ground, into this bubbling puddle behind it. This hand is long and pale, super pale. The fingers look like long talons, but covered in skin. As it reaches its hand out, it penetrates the field of angelic host and takes a stride forwards, pushing its head towards you, going into this field of angels, tries to grasp its hand around Flint. Now, it is going to take damage. Cool. It's entering the field.
Did it make the save, or did it?
It failed its save.
Oh, it failed its save. Even better for me. That's.
It is a 13, wasn't it?
Yes.
Your DC. Yeah. I got a 12 in total. Rolled a 9.
Oh. That's a 6. That's a 2, and that's another 6. So that's 14 total.
14. As it reaches towards you, pulling its head closer, the black goop peels away from its head, and you see this pointed, distorted vision of an elven face. It looks like an elf woman with long black hair, a shock white face, pitch black eyes. Her lips are small, pursed, and peeled back to show these very pointed, aggressive tiger teeth. As her hand reaches in through these angels, they fly around her arm, grab onto it, and try and pull and wrench it away from you, trying to protect you. One of the angels even flies out of formation towards her face, grabs a hold of it, and tries to lift it. But instead, she gets her other hand, grabs it, and tosses it aside. You can see that they're ripping at her skin, that they're doing some damage, but this thing doesn't seem to care. It grabs Flint, wraps its hand around him, and lifts him up. I'd like you to make either an athletics or acrobatics check. Your choice.
Athletics or acrobatics.
Don't forget the bardic inspiration.
Oh, and the bardic inspiration, of course. How much do I add on for that?
A D8.
A D8. Okay. Okay, so where's my D8 gone? I swear I had it a second ago. So that is 10 plus 5 plus 2, so that's 17 total.
Nice.
on athletics.
As she grabs around your barrel chest, you manage to swing your warhammer down and beat into a part of her hand that seems especially sensitive. As you hear a crack, you've broken her thumb, and she quickly pulls her hand back, turns towards you, and she opens her mouth and strains her face as if she's screaming at you. And you notice her chest heave, but you hear no sound. I would now like all of you, in fact, to make a wisdom saving throw. This is against a fear effect, so if anyone's got any special things to do with fear, they come into play.
Let's see.
That's an 18 total for a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
21 for Mushroom.
Mushroom got 21. Flint got 18.
Also, how close is she now to Mushroom?
She'll be within 30 feet.
Right. I was just, if anything comes within 10 feet of me, just let me know.
Okay.
For the Hello of Spars.
Ah, yes.
Well, I rolled a natural 1. And with the +3 that I have from my wisdom, that is a 4.
I've got a 4 as well. Now, the inspiration we had from last session, is that good? No good?
Yes, that is good. If you want to use that, I will allow you to add advantage.
I will use that then, because I don't want to be stunned by this creature.
Yeah.
Or maybe frightened, or whatever.
I think I still have inspiration from the first session, actually, with the...
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think I've used it. I think that was from the fire-changing colour thing with the farmers' kids, I think.
Yes.
My new number is 16.
Nice.
My new number is 6.
Sorry, Scott. The microphone seemed to cut out when you were saying the teen there. Okay. So Soben, turning to face this creature that Flint has charged towards, sees this gigantic hand, this sullen, sunken, pointed face. It is a demon, an apparition of nightmare. This is the scariest shit you've seen. You're frightened of this creature now. You cannot willingly get closer to it. Pardon me. Your attacks will be at disadvantage to hit it. And that will persist for about a minute while you gather your wits.
Okay.
And these Meanlock charge upwards with renewed vigor, dashing upwards, some of them blinking back into existence, and they leap upon Geran, grabbing him with their claws and pulling him to the side. He elbows one of them in the face and drives his sword down into its throat and twists, just as another one leaps onto his back and tackles him down to the ground, and he gets piled upon by this horde that is now chasing up this tunnel, which means that they get within 10 feet of Mushroom because they are moving into melee range fast. It also means that a couple of them will be in range of this angelic host as well. So I'll need another 2d8, 3d8, 3d8 damage, and I'll need to make a couple of wisdom saving throws. That's a 3. That's not saving anybody. That's a 9. That's saving nobody.
The Constitution saving throw against 15 for 1.
Nope, fails. So yeah, Shammers, could you roll that 3d8 for your angelic guardians?
Okie dokie. God, I should really stop putting them back into this.
See that Santa Claus.
Whew. Right, okay, so that's 10. 10 total. I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 7.
As they leap towards you, these angels rip them apart as they leap towards you. You note that the combination of this light spell coming from the staff and the angels being what they are seem to be doing more damage to these meanlocks than they were doing to the skeletons. These meanlocks seem especially vulnerable to them as they grab them, spin them around, dash them against walls, and one of them even flies into the torso of one of these things and explodes out of its head and continues whirling around you.
Okay.
What was the thing with mushrooms?
It was 6 necrotic damage.
6 necrotic damage. Then one of them, just as it's getting picked up by the angel, starts to wither slightly. Its skin getting pulled back, its compound eye starting to dissolve almost, holes and patches appearing in it, and this strange green pus starting to run down like tears down its face as it slams into the wall. So it's dead, but it took more than one type of damage. So these things don't seem to be able to get close to you at all. You guys are doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. It's the radiant more than anything else. I've made them vulnerable to radiant damage. And
using a cleric was a good choice then.
yeah. Dude. So that was their turn. It is now Gamut.
All right. So I've generally been all right. I believe Garrick is like being hounded down by a bunch of dudes, right?
Yeah.
Or is he all right? Is he okay right now?
He's been dogpiled. Yeah, you can't see him anymore.
Being dogpiled. Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm trying to find where the hell is that. Yeah, I don't think catnap's really going to help that much. I'm going to actually use Blade Ward. So
nice.
Now I think I have to be close enough to actually, touch him because it is an abjuration cantrip, which is touch. Well, wait a second. Actually, I'm actually getting it up now.
Cool.
Oh, it can only be cast on the self, so that's useless. Oh, I'm a hell of a buffer, guys. Look at me being support. Yeah, I'm gonna just simply get out my little clicky thing, and I'm going to thunderclap them the pile that he's on that he's on top of, and him as well. But that's hopefully that's not going to happen.
Collateral damage.
He'll live, hopefully.
So it's the thing with is it a thunder wave that it does?
No. This is thunderclap.
Thunderclap.
Okay,
that's
I'll
the magic item, wasn't it?
No. It's a cantrip. Now give me a second. I can get it up for people. D&D.
So remember, there was quite a big, thunderous thing that was done.
Yeah, that was Thunder Wave that I used at 3rd level. Thunderclap, on the other hand, is okay. So I'll pop this over to you guys so you guys can read it as well. But it says all creatures within 5 feet of myself, other than myself, obviously, must make a Constitution saving throw or take D6 thunder damage, and the thunder can be heard from 100 feet away. So pretty much what I'm doing is that my clacky thing, I go click, 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 and then this seems to charge it up, and then I click it in, basically near them, but then it just makes this great big, like, thunderclap. No crap. And because it's fifth, it's 2d6 actually. So they need to make a Constitution saving throw against 14.
Well, I've made one for the pile because there's a lot of them, and they've failed.
Okay, so they're going to take 2d6. Just my luck. I happen to have not many d6s out. Here we go. Okay, that's a cock. Okay, so that is 10. 10 thunder damage.
Nice.
Then, he's going to have to do it as well. So, because everybody within 5 feet.
I got him a 16. What's your DC?
16. No, 14. 14. So 14. He succeeded. Yeah.
He succeeded. So does he take half damage or no damage?
I think because it's a cantrip. Yeah, it's just no damage.
Sweet.
And then, I don't know, with my bonus action, I'm going to do a merry jig and sing his praises. These guys, are they like all screwed up? Like, what were they up to?
When you do this thunderclap, they shudder as the air vibrates towards them. You can see that they are shaken up, that they are hurt by this. A couple of them stand up, and you see Geran underneath this pile, and he is there with a dagger that he's taken out from a small sheath on his leg, and he's just stabbing wildly upwards at one of these things. But he's got one claw sunk into his leg. He's badly wounded, but he's still fighting. So he's still alive. But you haven't killed them, and they don't seem to be more bothered than anything else by the thunder. But you've certainly got their attention.
I'm going to wave my fire at them, my fire torch.
And again, they recede slightly, but holding one claw up, they decide to try and risk it and snip towards you. However, it is now Mushroom's turn.
So whereabouts is he in this corridor?
So Mushroom and Soben are still sort of halfway along this corridor. Flint has moved some ways up towards the tall, gangly figure, Slender Woman. And Gamut has moved further down the corridor towards Geran. So there's no creatures immediately near you. The ones that tried got smashed to pieces by you and the angelic host.
I'm just contemplating who to support here. I'm going... Mushroom is going to go towards Slender Woman, then.
All right. Given that your speed is more than Flint's, you'll be able to get close enough to do some damage. Her stretchy arms are moving all over this corridor, so you'll be able to slash at those.
Yep. He is going to hit her with his chalet.
Do it. Do it.
Do it. Do it now. Come on.
What are you waiting for?
That is a natural 20.
Nice.
Oh.
Critical hit.
All right. So that is 2d6 from the poison damage and 2d8s from the chalet. I'm missing a d8. Oh no.
Here's one.
Thanks, Drew.
Just take it.
It's helping me with my missing dice. I'll just roll this. Right, so hang on, let me just check. All right, yep, so the d6 is poison damage, and the d8 are just regular magical Yeah.
Double check that. Just get the folder out.
Yeah, Chalet is a magical weapon.
Oh no, it's the
yeah.
what poison does to her.
Oh, I see.
Oh, she's got nothing special with poison. She's good.
It's 6 poison damage. 8 regular damage, and so that's 12 regular as well.
So that's 18 total.
Yep.
Yep. Sweet. That's on top of the 14 she's already taken. So that is now 20, 30. Ooh. Dude, taking chunks. Yeah, you just dive forward, smack her upside the head, and as she moves her head at getting struck, it then stops. Her hands keep moving. You can still hear the sounds of battle from further down the corridor, but you see her head sort of crack back towards you and then stretch in jutters right up to in front of your face, and you get no sound from her whatsoever. Sobin.
Okay. So is there a way to advance either down the hall or over towards Garen without getting closer to this woman? Or
Yes,
that
would be completely opposite direction to her. So she's at the top of the tunnel. The Mean Locks, Garan, and Gamut all down at the bottom. Or
okay,
further down the bottom.
I'll advance to help Garen since I can't get any closer to the female
thing.
Right.
Yes. Oh, that's another good point, actually. Does anyone want to make a nature, history, or arcana check as like a reactionary thing to seeing her now that this black stuff sort of disappeared from her and you can get a good look?
Sure, I'll make a history check.
Yeah, sure.
16 total.
Nice. Was that history?
Yes.
So 16 on history. Anyone want to try another thing like nature or arcana?
I will pop for, I believe, I'm good with arcana.
I'll go in nature then.
Yeah.
Okay.
18.
10.
Okay. So with the arcana, you are able to determine that she is manipulating magic on an almost subconscious level, that she is not only magical in and of herself, but that's just her entire makeup. Everything seems to be bending and twisting around her in a weird way. And that the black goop behind her is a portal that she's managed to pull herself through. And the black goop was the remains of it. Flint, upon seeing this creature and its movements, is reminded of other stories that he's heard around many campfires. Tales of ancient fey creatures, great and powerful as demons. They would capture people in spiders' webs, take them away into dark regions of the forest that no adventuring party or scout has ever been able to find again. And there it is said that they are spun into cocoons and drained of their life force. Elves are particularly favored. And Mushroom's nature check reveals that this is, in fact, a Fey Lord. This is something that the Druid Order not only wants to try and contain, but this is her slightly larger than you remember. This is the Fey creature that you are fighting against. She's larger, she is more powerful, she is older. But this is definitely her. Her arms are longer, she's taller than she was. But that face, that grin, unmistakable. And she seems to recognize you too. You know that she has the power to move between worlds from the Feywild through to this one. And whenever she does so, she leaves behind these magical portals. She also creates armies of these Meanlock. Although the exact methods you don't know. But she somehow creates them and sows destruction and chaos in her wake. Her being here and being present, manifesting herself in this world that hurts her just by being here, means that she is after something very powerful and wants to use it. You never quite got to the bottom of why that would be in your previous journey here. And I've lost track of whose turn it is.
It was just mushrooms.
It was just mushrooms. So Sobin's now, and he was moving down the corridor away from her. That was it, and that was what reminded me. All right. So Sobin, you can move closer to a Meanlock, and you'll be able to attack, or you'll be able to try and pull Garan out from the pile. What is it that you'd like to do?
I'll actually see if I can pull him out of the pile.
Okay. For this, give me an athletics check again. This will be with advantage because he'll be trying to pull himself out as well.
Okay.
We'll just be helping him.
16.
Brilliant. What's your armor class as well?
My armor class? 16.
So as you manage to pull him out, one of these things shoots out a claw and tries to grab at you. But you're easily able to elbow it out the way as you're pulling him up. So the combined weight and strength of you and he bats it away. You're left unharmed. But as you pull him out, he's there still just wildly stabbing his dagger, missing you. But it takes a moment for him to calm down.
All right, very good.
Oh, you. Thank you, human. I was a bit piled on there. Moving on to Flint.
He'll sort of have a look over at mushrooms and notice the realization that he recognizes the sort of Fey Lord and kind of just go, you guys look like you've met before. Bit of a messy breakup, was it? Let's try and heat things back up, and I'll cast Sacred Flame at the Fey, the Fey Lord.
I've been rolling shit for most of the night.
Hey, that's helping us quite a lot.
Yeah, that's what the party wants to hear.
I just got a 9. Sacred Flame's a Dex saving throw? Yeah, Dex saving throw. Okay. Where's something? Which is +3. That's 12. You get her?
Yep, there's a 13. So 13 saving throw. So that's 2d8. 7, and that's a 2. So that's 9 total.
9 total. So yeah, thrusting your holy symbol forward again, the angelic host getting more fervent and feverishly flying around as quickly as it can. These flames spurt up around her feet, almost like they're trying to ignite and catch. And this light coming from your talisman seems to stoke them. They wrap around her, and she pushes her hand down to the ground, extinguishing the flames. She pulls herself back up to a full height, and you can see that the flames did hurt her, but that she's got some ability to quash it and stop it.
Nice.
At which point, she, again, moving her head around Mushroom in a juddery fashion, her neck stretching and almost coiling around. She then grabs at Mushroom and tries to pull with her claws. She is within 10 feet.
Yep. She is going. Mushroom is going to set his spells upon her.
Got 13.
That is lower. Fails at 15. My difficulty check. That is 5 poison damage.
I've never thrown away a die for being unlucky. That's about to change, it seems. While she takes the die. Oh, come on! You were fine before! That fell off the table. So that was a 4 and an 18! So the second one hits. What was Mushroom's armor class? I'm assuming less than 23.
It is less than just. It is 17.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. As her claws dig into you and they start to pull, you can feel your guts and bones stretching and straining to try and maintain the integrity of your own body. It's almost as if she's, by stabbing her claws into you and pulling, she's not just pulling your physical body, but she's somehow reaching into whatever realm of existence the concept of your body is in and trying to rip that concept apart. Dealing 12 points of damage as she does so. It is piercing damage, so if you have anything...
No.
Do that.
Only another 58 left.
Again, she opens her mouth next to your ear, and you just feel the breath coming out against your scales, but you hear no scream. Gamut. Hearing nothing. Are you muted?
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. Just on a quick thing, I want to make sure that, Garrick is okay. Is he good?
He is injured. He seems shocked, but he's already looking around for something else to plunge his dagger into.
Okay. I'm going to use my action to tourniquet him. So, I want to do a medicine roll to kind of heal him up.
Okay.
And as I do it, I'm going to tell him, go back to the others. I'll deal with things here. And yeah. So the point is that I want to give him some healing.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a medicine check.
That is a 14.
Right. Are you using part of your medicine kit, or
yes,
just?
I am.
Yeah,
it's going to be with my medicine kit.
Brilliant. So you managed to quickly patch him up. Let's say, because I can't fully remember the exact details of a healing kit, so I think you are able to heal by using a use of the healing kit. You can heal a hit die or something. I'll spend a hit die.
I believe it is a hit die.
There we go.
And the DC is 11.
Brilliant. That didn't help him too much. No, I'll turn a bit. It's got his constitution bonus to that. Okay. Fine. He is looking a bit less bad.
Okay.
Less worse for wear just didn't make sense in my head.
And I'm gonna tell him, go back to the others, I'll deal with this. And
he responds immediately by going, "No! These things are disgusting, horrible perversions.
Look behind you. Now do as I fucking tell you." I kick him in the leg. The one with the hole in it, specifically. How dare him? How dare he not pay attention to what I just told him?
You're telling me to go against that one thing when there's this horde clambering up behind us?
I kind of shrugged my shoulders and said, "Do you have a better plan?" And I kind of turn around with my flaming stick and wave it back, trying to kind of keep them back as I slowly move backwards towards the rest of the group.
He flips his dagger, catches it blade side up, throws it as it lands into the shoulder of one of these creatures as it's scrambling up towards him. And he turns to you and says, "I hate you sometimes." Runs over, grabs his short sword from the floor, and rushes up towards this giant, gangly lady.
You, my friend, are not getting any wedding. No wedding invitation, no presents, no nothing. I'm going to invite all your mates. I'm doing this. I'm legitimately shouting this as he's running away. I am going to call all your mates and have them come over. Even the ones who are dead, I'm going to pay for their resurrections. Specifically so that they can tell you about how awesome my wedding was.
As he dashes upwards, flips his short sword so that the blade's pointing down, and he leaps towards this gangly lady. As he does so, he shouts back, "I hope it doesn't work!" Mushroom.
Mushroom, he's wrapped up by the woman's arm, isn't he?
Yes, you're not grappled, though. You can easily move out.
Yeah, he's not going to try and pull away. He's instead going to, in the draconic language, he's going to say poison and bare his teeth and then just bite her in the face with the primal savagery spell.
Ooh. That from Volos, is it?
It is, yes. I think so.
Primal
That's it's a 19.
That will definitely hit. Run me through Primal Savagery. Give us a rundown on that.
Right, I'll read it. Make a melee spell attack. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 acid damage. Increase the damage by 1d10 when you reach 5th level.
So 2d10 damage right now.
2d10. And as I'm a lizard man, I get plus d6 damage to my bite.
Nice.
Seven.
You got me all hyped up, man.
Yeah.
Got me all hyped up.
All those dice.
Oh my god. I was there like, oh, this is going to be amazing.
Yes. That's just as bad as my, what was it, 3d8 that I ended up rolling like a 4?
So, because last session, like, one of the skeletons made the saving throw, so they took 3 damage from your thing. It's like, yes, I summon forth an angelic host, and barely hurt a skeleton.
The only way that could have been worse is if I'd got a nat 20 and still only rolled 8.
Oh my god. So yeah, you bite into the side of her face and it is shockingly cold. You get a flashback of how cold her flesh is. She is, despite being a fae, it is as though she is a perversion of nature. She is not from this realm and so doesn't belong. Soben, you are now essentially alone near these Meanlock. Gamut, as far as I understand, is still there near you. He's told Garen to go back, but hasn't gone back himself. Is that right?
I haven't. I'm going slow, but I still think it's a thing that we should slowly move back to the group and consolidate.
Yeah. So what you can do, Soben, is either disengage as your action and move back to the group so you don't get attacked, or you can try and just move back to the group without using that as your action, so you can attack a Meanlock or move towards this lady and attack her, but you'd get attacks of opportunity. They'd take swipes at you.
Okay, now because of my fear, I can't actually move towards that woman.
That's very, very true. Unless something prompts a second saving throw, so like a slap to the face. And it also says you can't willingly move closer. Someone could drag you.
Okay. Are there two creatures within striking distance?
Yes. Yeah, this pile of mean locks is sort of gathering its strength, standing up and ready to attack you. I just realized now that they didn't actually attack at all.
And this is
also,
just...
they're within 10 feet as well.
Okay.
So I will need another wisdom saving throw from both Gamut and Sobin. I apologize, I'd missed a bit.
Oh, boy. 4.
Oh dear, man. 14.
Sobin is now scared of the mean locks as well. Because of the fear aura. However, the mean lock fear is a lot weaker. It's basically 1 turn's worth. So it's just this turn you're scared of them.
I don't know what to say.
You can still attack them. You just can't move towards more once you've taken them out.
Okay. This would be with disadvantage?
It would, yes. You'd have advantage because you've also got an ally nearby. So we'll say it cancels out and it's just a straight 1d20 roll. Okay. So if you've already rolled, you can re-roll.
I rolled 2 dice. So.
Sorry?
I said I rolled 2 dice at a time, so I'll just re-roll the 1.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
13. And at 5th level, I get 2 attacks.
Yes. That's enough to hit them.
Okay. Second one's an 11. It just...
Oh, not enough to hit them, I'm afraid.
First one does 11 damage.
Oh, nice. That's on 2 that were on the piles. They've already taken that 8. So that's 11, 19. Oh. So yeah, as you manage to bring your great sword down onto one of them, you smack onto its shoulder, bringing it down to 1 knee. It then brings its claw up and parries your blade upwards, standing up again, and it just vibrates its mandibles, drooling this greenish slime. It's not dead yet, but it is close to it. I'm trying to think of any other like bonus actions or anything that you'd be able to get. It's a 2-handed weapon, isn't it? So it's yeah, I think that might be it. Is that end of your turn?
Yep, that's it.
Flint.
Right, so what he's going to do is Flint's going to use his he's going to use Healing Word as a bonus action on mushrooms. And sort of go, looks like you've got mushroom for some healing. He's going to have, let's see, 1d4 plus 2. Where's my d4 gone?
Mushroom actually has no room for healing.
Has no room for healing. My d4 has... oh, there it is.
Is he at full health?
Still well into...
Oh, no, it won't be a health. It'll be 12 down, won't it?
Yeah, it should be 12 down, unless
he gets hit points.
You get bonus hit points?
Yeah. When he activates his Halo spells, he gets 5 temporary hit points for every druidic level he has.
Oh, okay, so he doesn't need any healing. All right, that's fair. So that's, what, 25 extra health? Jesus. Right, okay, so no Healing Word this time. What a waste of a good pun. Right, okay, so what he's going to do now is, as an action, because this doesn't technically need concentration, he's going to cast Spiritual Weapon. And what appears is a rather large frothing tankard of ale. And he's going to use his bonus action to attack the... That's at second level he's casting. He's going to use that then to attack the Fey Lord or Fey Lady. Yeah.
Which was the spell name again, sorry?
That is Spiritual Weapon.
Spiritual Weapon, that was it. Now, if memory serves, that is also a concentration spell.
Not according to D&D Beyond.
Ooh. Fantastic if it's not. Spiritual Weapon. You are right, sir. It is not a concentration spell, so you can cast that and keep Spirit Guardians going.
Cool. Awesome. Sick. So I've got my Spirit Guardians, and I've got a huge tankard of frothing ale. Just flying around. A bit like the giant lollipop from Critical Role. There we go, but rather more alcoholic. So I think I still need to roll to attack with that, don't I? So
when you cast a spell, make a melee spell attack against a creature within 5 feet of the weapon. And they take 1d8 plus your ability modifier. But of course, you're using a higher spell slot, aren't you? So it's an extra 1d8.
Well, it's second level anyway. I'm casting it at second level.
Oh, you're casting it at second level.
Yeah, I only have one third level spot left, and I was going to use that when Spirit Guardians run out. So, or if anyone needed like reviving from the dead, because I've got Revivify or whatever it is. So, yeah. So that is 17 plus 5. So that is 22.
Nice. Well, that's to hit.
To hit, yes.
That is a hit.
And so that's 1d8 plus 2. So that is 9 damage total.
Reasonable.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah. Sea mushroom. That's how you do damage.
Oh, leave poor mushroom alone. He's adorable. He's an adorable fool. Like, he lets the mushrooms grow on him, but you know,
like grow out of him.
Good for breakfast in the morning, I suppose. So.
Just be careful which.
Like,
that's true. Be careful which mushrooms.
It could either be a bad time, a good breakfast, or a really good time.
Or a really good breakfast.
Oh dear. I'm going to move quite swiftly on before this becomes a little X-rated and Japanese related. That was that. So yeah, the spiritual weapon appears, manifests in the air, and smacks her upside the head. Again, after she's recoiling from the bite from Mushroom, this thing smacks her in the head. Again, the jittering head movement moves closer towards Mushroom as she slams her hands on either side of Mushroom's head and tries to dig her claws in. As she's doing this, Mushroom will need to make an charisma saving throw.
Charisma's the dumpster. Ah!
What did you get?
Nat 20.
Oh, sweet.
Hey, nice.
Decent. So yeah, as she digs her claws in, you can feel a voice start to penetrate into your mind. This whispering. You hear about a dozen different things at once. You'll never win. This isn't over. You should give up now. And you don't care about them. You've been stuck for so long after fighting this woman that she has no power over you. you see this void that you and her are floating in. You move towards her, and reflexively, you just give her an uppercut. And when you come to, you have grabbed hold of her hands and are pulling them off your head. You didn't even realize that that's what you were doing. And as you pull them out of your head, the voice disappears and a shocked look appears on her face. She then distends her jaw downwards until it stretches almost to the floor. She's now got this 5 foot wide open mandible that she folds over and around you and tries to eat you. Give me an athletics or acrobatics check.
You're the dump start. 19!
Hey, there we go.
Again, quickly releasing her hands, grabbing either side of her jaw, and pulling the skin taut and shut in front of you, and then kicking her bottom jaw away. She stumbles backwards, looks even more surprised, and starts sort of clicking her hands towards both you and Flint, since the two of you are standing right there. Geran, at this point, has leapt into the air, stabbed his sword into her side. Oh, he's actually stabbed his sword into her side. Oh, well done. And as he slides down her, pulling his sword blade down, she quickly pulls her hand back, grabs him, and dashes him to the wall. As he slides down, he rolls his head and then falls unconscious. He's been knocked out, but he managed to do some damage to her, which is good. 69. And the small meanlocks surge forward, trying to strike at Soben and Gamut. So 2 of them go on Soben. They've got reinforcements and you've got reinforcements. That will be advantage and disadvantage, which cancels out. So they get 1d20. I rolled in that 20. The one time to start getting good rolls. Okay, so that's 1 on Soben. Got a 6 on Soben, so that's probably... that'll be 7 total.
That's a miss.
Oh, yes, it's Gamut that's got the rubbish armor class, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a 14 to hit Gamut. And a 6.
That don't hit. That
Okay.
surprisingly don't hit.
So
I literally look at the one who missed me and I was like, come on, can't you hit me?
all right. These claws do 7 slashing damage. Ooh. And you both need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Jeez.
This is brilliant. Let's see what happens here. A 19.
Nice.
Hey, 21.
Brilliant. As the claws manage to snip at your arms, legs, and torso, pulling chunks out of you. Just realized now that natural 20 should have done critical damage, and so it should be 14 damage to Soben. Sorry about that. That's 14 damage to Soben, 7 to Gamut. But you both managed to avoid being paralyzed, which is the effect that the strange mucus between their claws has. And now that they've had their turn, the surge of these things results in them sort of piling on top of each other. They're now creating a wall blocking this corridor. They don't want to get too much further because they can still see these angels swooping around, and they don't want to get close enough to be caught by them. There's also the daylight spell being given off by the end of Mushroom's staff that seems to be keeping them at bay somewhat, but they're still trying to surge forward and get at you. But they've just ended up creating a stack, creating a wall. It is Gamut.
It's me. Right, I'm just gonna fucking bitch slap these guys. I'm gonna thud them with Thunderwave.
Nice.
And I'm gonna be doing it at a level 3 spell. I'm gonna do my last level 3.
Nice. Constitution saving throw. So again, as a group, I rolled a 4.
Well,
+1 to con, so that's it. 5.
I'm really sorry, dude, but you happen to have failed. Catastrophic.
Oh, comes as a shock and a surprise, but go on then.
Okay, so it's 2d8 as natural.
Yes,
but it's a first level spell. Yeah, and I cast it as 3.
So that's an extra.
So it's 2d extra 2d8.
Yeah.
Out of the way, paint pots. Hey. Okay. I rolled an 8, a 6, a 6, and a 1. Which ain't bad. 9, 12, 21.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
21.
So 21, and they get pushed 10 feet away from me. And that is everybody in a 15-foot cube. They're like from in front of me. So I kind of put my clicky thing on my spear, on my javelin point, and I just kind of go, thunder! And I slam the fucking thing in the ground, and then, like, hope this corridor is, 15 feet wide, because that would be cool.
As you slam it into the ground, this concussive force wave throws the entire wall back. While the corridor itself was only about 10 feet wide, you managed to push the 15 feet deep of them backwards, tumbling all over each other. The amount of damage that you've caused as well causes them to contort, squish against each other, get thrown against the wall, splattering their heads against it. They are now just all husks on the ground. You notice in the few... I just saw that message. You notice as the seconds tick by and there's nothing but the occasional twitch from a dead limb, that by splitting these creatures open, you've revealed that there is something inside them. You notice extra... Yeah, just sacks of gold. You notice limbs, an extra back sticking out, a head, a face, a humanoid face revealed under half a caved-in Meanlock face. Looks like there were things inside them, but they're covered in green goo, and they also appear to be dead.
Okay. I'm going to ask you this very honest question, Drew, and you don't have to answer me, yeah? I respect you on a professional level, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are we in the lament configuration? Are we going to find Pinhead around one of the corners here? Because I'm all right. I'm all right with that. Okay.
I may have taken some inspiration from just general watching of things like The Cube and things. I do enjoy horror films an awful lot.
The Cube. Good enough.
Cube's really good.
Yeah.
I like The Blue Room. But no, Hellraiser has not been the primary motivation for this. But now that you've mentioned it, I want to go back and watch those films. Yeah, actually, yeah. There's going to be some good inspiration in those. Oh God, was Hellraiser the one with where it started off with the skinned guy?
Yep. Yes, Frank.
Yeah, that was a well-aced film.
I found out that my partner hadn't watched it, like ever. Mm-hmm. So I immediately just went, "Yeah, we're not going dancing today. We're going to go sit down and watch this because, like, woman, what is wrong with you?"
See, with my wife, it was Page Master. I know that's not a horror film at all, but she hasn't seen it. And that came out when we were kids. And I'm like, what? How? But yeah, there isn't a lot in the way of horror films that she hasn't seen. The first film we watched together was Battle Royale.
Really?
That was like our date night film.
on our first date. So yeah.
Mine was Cannibal Ferox.
Ooh, I've not seen that one.
Look it up afterwards. If anybody watching this is like under the age of like 25, don't look it up. Yeah.
Are we going to get people squeamish when we turn around the corner and there's the human centipede room? No.
Oh.
Dear God.
It is Mushroom's turn.
All right. Mushroom is going to reach into his druidic bag and pull out the amber amulet and just shove it down her throat while she's screaming silently at him. Like, eat it, bitch!
Give me an athletics, strength athletics check. Oh, for God's sake, another 4. Why? 6 total.
I got a 7.
Oh my God!
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God. For such low numbers, that's an actual bit of drama. You start to try and pry the sides of her mouth open and push this thing inside. She sticks out this long, wiry tongue to try and keep it out. You manage to slide it in, keep it inside of her mouth, and then squeeze it to activate it. And frothing out of her mouth and starting to spread around about her. And I'll see what you mean about this whole Freudian thing. Starting to spread around her entire body is this amberized goo. It is slickly spreading around her and hardening as it does so. Her face turns to one of shock and she pulls back entirely and steps backwards, 1 foot landing in this black puddle of goo. And she tries to reach one hand in to try and pull herself back through this portal. But already the goo has got to her arm and she's stuck to the solid stone floor past the portal. She starts to freeze up. Her eyes glaze over as this spreads over her. And just as it's about to fully encase her and spread out into this sort of cuboid form, she lets out another scream, which you then hear, and it echoes and booms down the corridor, vibrating this amber, cracking it in places, and bubbles froth up around her mouth. But the amber stays solid. Finally, it encases her, and the corridor is filled with silence. You guys are out of initiative now.
Flint's going to go over to the elf and check to see if he's okay.
Give me a quick medicine check.
Cool. Awesome. I think my medicine's a +5. Yes, it is. That is 13.
He's essentially succumbed to the shock of his wounds. He'll survive, but he could do with some long-term palliative care.
Cool. I will... So he is he what's the word I'm looking for? Is he still like bleeding out, or is he sort of like
He's stable.
stable?
He's in positive hit points. He's just been knocked out.
Oh, okay, fair. Cool. Flint's going to sort of turn to the rest of the party. Go. Well, that was quite the scrap. Anyone else hurt at all?
I kind of put my hand up and I said, I'm pretty dinged up, mate. By which I mean I'm not dinged up that much at all. I'm down 2 hit points.
All right. Okay. Right then. So you'll sort of come over and will cast healing word on your character. Sorry, what?
No. Gamut doesn't need any healing.
Gamut doesn't need any
I'll
healing.
I think Sobin could probably do with a bit of a pick-me-up.
probably, because he's taken much more damage than I have.
Yeah, I think he's down 11 hit points.
Yeah, I'm down 11. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I will then cast Prayer of Healing, which anyone that needs it, there's a 30-foot radius, so he'll position himself. So Sobin will get 2. Where's my D8 gun? There it is. So that is 8 hit points total.
I assume Garen would also heal that then if it's a 30-foot radius.
Yes. Yeah, anyone that needs it will get that.
Nice. The corridor lies ahead of you, leading downwards. The way seems blocked by both this iron door and flooded room, and it's difficult to clamber around, although you could still get past this amberized Fey Lord that is now trapped, entombed for seemingly ever. The way downwards, while strewn with the dead bodies of these mean locks and whatever was inside them, there seems to be a room beyond, which is yet to explore, and perhaps another way out.
Right then, chaps. What are we going to do next?
I say we'll keep fucking going, man. I don't know about you, but money's a coming.
Hey, I'm always up for a challenge. Let's go.
Has the horde of creatures disappeared?
They're still there, but they're dead. Thanks to Gamut's Thunderwave, it wiped them all out. They all had 20 hit points, so doing 21 damage with the Thunderwave wiped them all out.
Nice.
So yeah,
that Thunderwave at level 3 is actually turning out to be a brilliant spell.
I know.
I love it.
Zombies and meanlocks and all these things. I mean, to be fair, I'd modified the meanlocks somewhat. I'd lowered their armor class and hit points a little bit, gave them radiant damage resistance, but I'd amped up some of the damage and teleportation just to try and make them more of like a swarmy enemy, because their appearance and backstory to me like suits that kind of swarm aliens vibe. Anyway. Yeah, so you guys continuing down the tunnel and seeing what's in this next room, lit up by the daylight spell. As you cross over this mass of bodies, you see enough to realize that inside these meanlocks, whatever the plural is, inside these creatures are the bodies of elves. Some of them have fused to various parts of the meanlock body, but some of them seem to be just encased in it, as if this is a thing that's grown around them. But it looks like there was no saving them at all. Moving into the room, you find that it is half a room. The stonework gives way to this ruddy chamber made of mud and stone that is entirely unworked, but it is this massive empty chamber, the end of which has a bright green light shining through it. It looks as though this chamber is perhaps a mile, maybe 2 across, and it's about half a mile away. It's past all these stalagmites sticking up out of the ground, creating this maze of twists and turns to get there. there is this gigantic green light. You see no movement. You hear only the movement of wind inside this cave. And you feel a bit of a breeze as well, as if there's some opening here.
Right then. Is this, do you think, what we were sent here to look for?
Mm.
Job here is done. Only need a way out of this place now.
All right. If someone wants to try and find an exit, they can make a survival skill check. This will be at disadvantage because of the vastness of the place. Who volunteers? Oh, mushroom straight in.
8.
You do manage to find an exit. It is a small hole, maybe about 7 feet long by 3 feet wide. Something that you could easily squeeze through. You'd probably get scuffed up a bit on your way through, though. But it's a way out, and it's just a quick clamber up a short ways. It's about 5 feet up. It looks like this is set into the side of a nearby hill. So not the hill that you guys started on, but another one that this chamber seems to sort of ride up slightly and come out. As you're exploring around looking at this, you note that the shining green light is a gigantic crystal monolith. Is a shard of crystal shooting out of the ground, glowing light, shining it all around the chamber, this dim, eerie glow. And standing at the base of it is an elf in shining gold armor, and he's caressing the side of it.
Flint will approach, sort of cautiously.
You start to hear whispers in Elven. They don't speak Elven?
I don't think I do, but I will double check. Where are my languages? Features and traits. Description.
I think language is, if it's on D&D Beyond, it's at the far left.
Oh, you're right. Nope, I do not. It's Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, and Infernal.
I'm gonna just whisper to Garrick. Do I really need to know what he's saying, or do I just have to assume that he's gone mad?
He is still unconscious. You can tap him awake if you want. I'm assuming someone's carried him.
Yeah, I'll be carrying him, but I just assumed that he was awake. Sorry. I'll kind of make a gesture to Flint, kind of you go talk to him.
I'll do that.
So sorry, waking Garen up, yeah?
No. I'm telling Flint, go talk.
Yeah.
Go talk to the shiny one.
Cool.
Okay.
Flint will approach cautiously. Is everything all right?
Very quickly looks to you, clutching close to this giant crystal. It is that commanding officer, or it looks very much like him, Merka Edel. What are you doing here?
Could ask the same question of you, pointy ears.
Leave me be. I found my treasure. Go find yours somewhere else.
I'm more partial to gold, but I'm curious. What's so special about this glowing crystal?
need not concern you, dwarf. This is magic. You wouldn't understand. Beyond your feeble brain. Yes, feeble. That was a good one. Yes.
Feeble? Calling my dwarven brain feeble? You're going the right way for an ass whooping here, pal.
Living under the mountain, I'm sure you don't get enough sunlight to allow your brains to flourish like plants, like a fungus. Needs light.
Hey, I'm a fun guy like the next guy, but this is... I don't take kindly to being called stupid.
I'm sure you don't, although I'm also sure that it happens often enough.
So, Flint is going to cast Hold Person.
Oh, do it, yeah.
Do I have... Nope, I do not have a second spell slot. Never mind. I'm not going to cast Hold Person. I used my last spell slot on Prayer of Healing. Damn it. I can cast at 3rd level, but I'd prefer to use Spirit Guardians just in case. Screw it. I'm going to cast it at third level. Yep, I'll cast Hold Person.
All right.
And
Saving throw on my part.
13.
Okay, he gets a +1. Come on. Roll a 12 or higher. Come on. Yeah, I rolled a 13 exactly. So +1, that is 14. So yes. Oh, let's do an Arcana check. See if he. No, that is a 7. That is rubbish. So he does not notice what you've done. He seems entirely too distracted, but you note that he is still moving, so the spell hasn't worked.
What'll your men do if you stay here with this radiant lover of yours?
They're all dead now, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Aye, if you stay like this, you might be joining them.
Oh, it wouldn't let any harm come to me. No. No, we're getting to understand each other.
Do you really think it gives a shit?
Not about you. But it understands power, just as I do. This. Do you have any idea what this is?
I might do, I might not do.
Cryptic as always. Damn dwarves. Your minds are like the fortresses you hide yourselves in. This is a crystal monolith. This thing has power within it. There's magic just coursing through it. It's a conduit to gods know where. Some say the Fey realm, some say somewhere else. But magic lies within it. And inside, there is going to be something I can use, something that will allow me to overthrow my brothers and take my place as ruler of a new elven empire. No more city-states, no more individual factions, all under my rule. It will be a glorious golden age. All these villages full of humans and halflings flailing about under hobgoblin raids and goblin thefts. None of that anymore. They'll be protected under my empire, my rule. I've already sensed something inside, something powerful. It's the ability to tremble the earth itself. There's another feeling inside. Fire raining from the sky. The power to rain fire from the sky. Could you even think of it, dwarf? Could you even imagine? Mushroom, what were you going to do?
While he's monologuing, Mushroom is going to cast Dispel Magic on the crystal.
Ooh.
Ooh. He's not going to be happy.
Right, you need to make an ability check then. On your spellcasting ability, which is Wisdom for clerics. No, for druids, sorry.
Yep, that is 23.
That is definitely enough because it's DC 10 plus the spell's level. So that is it. Yeah, there were some 9 level magics in there. Shit.
Can I do something? Because
yes.
While he's monologuing, if he's doing this while the monologuing is happening, I would like to cast a spell on the guy. Yeah?
Okay.
I wanna cast Bane, and because he's monologuing, can I just say that he fails the save anyway? Like, I don't think he's gonna. I'm pretty sure he's gonna succeed at this save because it's double.
I'll give him disadvantage on it.
All right. Bane. Charisma saving throw to 14.
I rolled a 3 and a 4.
Oh.
So he fails.
Okay, so basically this duration. Like, it doesn't list how long the duration is. Oh, wait. It's up to 1 minute. Up to 1 minute. And basically, every time they make an attack roll, a saving throw, and I think basically spell rolls would also go into that. They must roll a d4 and subtract that number from the total.
Dude. And so while you basically curse this guy, noting that Flint's spell didn't work, Mushroom then kneeling down to the ground and placing his hands onto the floor, feeling beneath the rock a vein pulsing with power leading into this crystal. And before he finishes casting this spell, I would like him to make a history or nature check to see how much he knows of this crystal.
Nature?
Yep.
19.
While not directly briefed by the Druid Order, Mushroom has pieced together enough of his experiences, the world, and the remit of the Druid Order to realize that these crystals are elements of the Feywild piercing into this world, that the magic can't survive as it does in other realities, and so it coalesces and solidifies in this crystalline form. It is powerful and almost revered by the Druid Order. And so doing this is no light thing, that by dispelling the magics within, by dampening the power that this crystal monolith has, it means that is some magics of this world that will likely be gone forever. They may never again manifest. This will be spells that wizards have never had written down in any spell book, wiped out. But he also recognizes fully the danger this poses. This is magic that no one has any defense against, no one's encountered before. And if this elf manages to tap into that, and so pressing his hand firmly into the solid stone, he pushes his will along this vein, spreading it through the various tributaries until it reaches the central monolith, and the light dims until it is no more. No! What have you done? What have all of you done? What have you done? It's you, dwarf. It doesn't like you. It's just because you're here.
It might be, it might not be. But right now, I'm itching to smash your elven skull in. I'm not going to swing first, but I will make sure I have the last swing if you swing at me. Try it if you dare, pointy ears.
He reaches to the side of his armor, and as he pulls and twists, you notice that part of his armor, rather than being decorative, part of it was in fact a scabbard built into the chest piece, and he pulls out a curved blade, like a miniature scythe. He then screams a curse in Elvish, leaps into the air to try and attack you. We're going to roll for initiative.
19 total.
Nice.
I rolled the maximum I can legitimately roll, an 18. Don't you dare laugh at me. I rolled the best I could roll. I'm right here doing the best I can. Can you see the same?
To be honest, no. My dice rolls have been appalling. No, they have not been working the hardest. Scott, what we got?
I rolled a 1 for a total of 3.
Oh my god. Dice rolls are as bad as mine.
I'm going to do some dice shaming after this.
And I got a real middle of the road at 10.
Okay. We have exactly the same initiative order as before. So it goes Flint, then Gamut, then me, and then Mushroom, followed finally by Soben. So that's interesting. Flint, you see him draw his weapon, get ready to attack. He is definitely making an aggressive move. You get to react before he hits.
Okay, so where am I? Ooh, okay, that's interesting. So I can, as I've taken a Warcaster feat, I can use any of my spells left as a reaction. As a reaction, I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt at first level because I have no slots above first level anymore. So that's a +5 to hit.
Roll it.
Oh, that's good. That's a 23 total.
Nice. That definitely hits him.
So that's 4d6. Radiant. That's a 4. That's a 5. That's another 4. So that's... and that's a 2. So that's a 6, 11, 15 total.
Jeez. So yeah, as he's leaping at you, you quickly thrust out your weaponed hand. And as you throw it forward, this bolt emerges from it, dashes towards him, splashes against his armor, and he lands to the ground on one knee. I'll teach you to hurt an elf. I am your superior.
Superior, my backside pointy ears. Let's go.
All right, what do you want to do with your action?
Right, so with my, I think it's probably been more than 10 minutes. So
we'll say, yeah, between the like traipsing through corpses, having a look around and looking for the exit.
Yeah, so Spirit Guardians is no more. And I don't have any third spell slots to redo that. So what I'm going to do is, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Divine Favor, which adds that adds a d4 to any hits, melee hits I get in of radiant damage. And I'm going to swing. I'm going to swing with my one-handed with my Warhammer as the action to try and hit him.
Do it.
Do it, come on. So that is going to be... that's 11 total, so I think I'm going to use my inspiration to re-roll.
Okay.
That's better. That's a 16 total.
That is not enough to hit. It's just shy. I will allow you to push it. It's one of these optional rules in the DMG, which I quite enjoy, where I'll allow you to push it because you are one off. You can hit if you allow a negative consequence to occur.
What sort of negative consequence?
Something along the lines of he gets a hit in on you at the same time, sort of like you just exchange blows.
Okay. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. So that is... is it gone? Is it gone? There it is. And there's that one. So it's 1d8 plus 2 for the Warhammer, and it's 1d4. Is it 1d4 or 1d4 plus 2? It's 1d4, yeah. So it's 1d8 plus 2 for the... oh, hell yes, that's an 8, so that's 10. And that is 13 damage. That's 10 melee damage and 3 radiant, if that makes any difference.
All right. That is 28 total damage done to him. That's racking up pretty quick. So you've managed to strike against him. As you do so, he ducks down and slashes with you managing to bash him on the head as he does so. And as he cuts across your belly, your armor protects you from you actually getting cut, but you still take 5 points of damage.
Okay, I can take 5 points of damage. I still have 10 temporary hit points from before, so...
Right, next we have Gamut.
Gamut is gonna... he's gonna be all about throwing down. So he's going to cast Blade Ward on himself. And you basically, I'm just going to walk and get into this guy's way. I'm going to mildly inconvenience him. Basically, I'm going to say it's like, why don't you have a go at me, mate? You know, kind of thing. Come at me.
Right. He then grabs from the other side of his armor another curved blade and takes an aggressive stance and leaps and tries to attack both Flint and Gamut. So that Bane is 1d4
negative
for the entire minute.
As long as I roll, yeah, for the entire minute, as long as I keep the concentration up.
Yeah.
Which gives me the impression that I shouldn't have actually closed the distance. I feel like an idiot now.
Well, to be fair, he's now got with the Blade Ward, you take half the damage, and he's got minus d4 on the attack rolls himself.
It's still the thing. It's still the thing of if he hits me, I'll have to roll concentration to see if I succeed. You know, keep the concentration. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All in the past. All in the past.
Very, very true. That's very true. Right. Yeah. We will attack Flint first. That was a 6. That's not going to hit anything. And that's -1. I rolled a 2 and I got a 3 on the d4. Well, that sucks. So as he quickly slashes at Flint with these 2 blades, easily manages to bring his shield up to deflect both of these blows. And then he spins, stares directly at Gamut, and roars, dragging these blades directly downwards. I rolled a 3 on the d20 again, and I got a 4 on the d4. This is ridiculous. I rolled a 6 this time. I've got a 9 and a 3 on the d4.
It's crap rolls to begin with. That's how did I miss Gamut? So as he's crazily swinging these blades around, everyone's just managing to deflect it easily enough. Oh, fuck this guy then. Shit, yeah, mushroom. Fuck my main villain.
It now been 10 minutes that has passed. Mushroom will flourish his staff, strike the ground, and reawaken his spars. Sends him back to 70 health. And he will also cast Chalet again. How far away is he from the combat?
Mushroom, because we never fully established positioning, will say that you can be 10 feet away from the guy, or you can be further away. This crystal's sort of in a slight crater depression that's about 15 feet diameter radius.
Oh, for his movement, he's going to position himself sort of behind Gamut, a little bit behind him.
Cool. And Sobin.
I will advance. Can I get close enough to actually make an attack? Or
yes, similar to Mushroom, you can be like between 10 feet and however far away you want to be.
Okay.
I'll assume you guys have sort of like generally congregated in this crater near the crystal just to see what's going on.
Okay. 13, and then the next one I rolled an 18, so that'll be a 27.
Nice. Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
And damage-wise is 13. I'm sorry, 15.
15. All right. 15 on that, so that's now. Oh, shit. Yep. So that was just from one attack, yeah?
Correct. My great sword.
And you get a second attack, I believe.
Well, the one was a 13.
Oh, right.
13.
I thought you were rolling twice with advantage. You will get advantage because now he has Flint and Gamut, and now you facing up against him. Okay. Yeah, when Flint was attacking, it was just him at that moment. But now that other people have moved up, you now have advantage.
Okay.
So yeah, make now your second attack. We'll say that was 2 rolls on the one attack.
Good deal. No, and a 20 total.
Yes, that hits. Armor class is 17.
12 damage.
Jeez. That's fully about that. That's 55 total damage that he's taken. I built him as a 5th level fighter. That was an action surge that he used on the last turn. That's how he got the 4 attacks. He's dead. Oh my god. So since this is the death blow on the elf, the one villain that's in the room, Sobin, how would you like to dispatch him?
I will run up to him and he'll do a slash across his chest and then a spinning backstroke and cut his head off.
Nice. His head rolls along the floor, his body then collapses to its knees and slumps to the side. Blood starts pooling into one of the crevices in the rock. as the crystal grows dimmer and dimmer until the light is completely gone, you note a rumbling from outside the cave that is reverberating the walls of the cavern that you're in. The top of the hill gets rent open by a massive claw. Standing astride this hole that it's made, the sunlight streaming in, almost blinding you. You see the form of a huge gold dragon, easily the size of a small village. He pulls his head in close and growls, "Who quietened the Citadel? Who put out the spark?" And this,
I kind of go, guys, what the fuck did we just do? Because I don't know. I don't know what the, like Gamut, from Gamut's point of view, it was just like, oh right, the guy, let's kill him. Yeah, okay, cool. I didn't know that we'd killed the fucking light. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
not at all.
Flint will kind of just go, Gamut, we may have to postpone the wedding.
Okay.
That dragon ripping open the top of the hill represents the end of the session. This is it for this particular adventure. We will probably at some point have to arrange getting together. Now, I have had a few sort of other projects and things to pick up, so we won't be able to do this as regularly as I would like to, but I'm not opposed to picking this up at a later point, because there was some brief discussion about that. But for the time being, we can discuss that in the Facebook chat. For now, that is the end of the adventure. The Citadel of Uril explored, as such that it was, the crystal monolith found, and its worth made plain, although the worth that the party is able to extract from it are now essentially extinguished. But a greater threat looms. Who knows what this dragon wants to do? And it also means that Gamut doesn't get his money. The gold, the riches promised. Where are they? Guess we may find out. We may never find out. That's it for the adventure. How's everyone feeling?
That was awesome. I love that.
That was very intense.
I really enjoyed it. I often get very kind of self-conscious about doing things, especially when it's online and stuff. So I apologize if anyone felt like, you know, I was bringing down the mood and stuff with like making cracking wise and making jokes and stuff. You know,
not at all.
I
Personally,
I do it for my own. I do it for my own sanity.
That's good. Half the time, there's ridiculous stuff. I can't remember if we mentioned last time about the weird imp things that I introduced in one of my previous games. I end up putting in ridiculous things that are joke worthy, and I don't think about them. People have to point them out before I realize how ridiculous they are. I decided to make imps, but to make them disgusting for this person to hold, because this is a character that just likes to grapple everything. The moment they found goblins and gnomes and things, they were just like, right, pick you up, conk your heads together. It's like, okay, let's make this disgusting for her to hold. So they were invisible to start off with, but she located them, grabbed them, and they became visible. These imps, I use the sort of Mephit look. So big, long, hooked nose, skinny, gangly limbs, big, bulbous body. But I decided to make them out of skin, like human skin with hairs sticking out all over, kind of like oily and slightly sticky. And they had what was going to be white blood, but I then quickly changed it to grey when I realised what they actually ended up looking like. So yeah, I created ball
White
sack.
blood spurts
Yes, they were
out of their mouths.
the ball sack imps. And then there's the towers, Drew.
The towers were just towers. I still contend that those were not penis towers. They were just towers.
You
All
are a
towers are
walking
penises.
testament to Freud.
They are country. They are national. They are national penises.
Oh, these were towers with like a big crystal on top that would be like a power expander thing for like wizards. And stuff.
Yeah. I understand that. That's what Nikolai Tesla described as, you know, the nascent penis. You know, it just stood there, and its mushroom would just cast electricity over a wide net. Electricity could be found everywhere, wherever they wish.
It was the spherical
Oh yes,
spherical installations at the bases of these towers that made them a problem, Drew.
Perhaps on a profile view, yes, you'd see these big half spheres coming out of the ground and then the tower. But in my defense, I was just obsessed with the number 8 and making sure that I had 8 elements on the spectrum and that they were all represented by these orbs around the tower. I was thinking of the top-down view. I wasn't thinking of side-on what it would look like. Yeah, maybe I need to go and see some therapy. There seems to be a lot of Freudian stuff going on here.
Freudian's bollocks, mate. You're fine.
Oh, I remember at uni, actually, and they were talking about Freud seriously, and I was like, you know that this is all debunked for the most part, right? Like his process and method we have learned a lot from, but like this isn't a thing. And they were like, yeah, but you can apply it to studying media. It's like, so? That doesn't mean anything.
I have recently discovered that multiple, and I do mean multiple, of the people who are I would consider to be not fun to be around, all went and got a philosophy degree. And I deeply regret the idea that I have a philosophy degree now. And I have many regrets in my life.
My sister-in-law has a philosophy degree, and she is a wonder to speak to about these sorts of things. She's very good. A friend of mine, Oliver, unfortunately, he leans into it a lot more. Every conversation with him is a discussion on the morality of anything, and everything's very specific. He won't accept like commonly accepted turns of phrase at all. Everything to him is an academic debate, which is a struggle to get through. It's entertaining when you're in the mood, but
okay. You're going to have to give me, like, this guy's name and address and stuff so I can stay as far fuck away as I can. No offense to you, Oliver. I don't know if you're watching this, but I get enough of that from my head when I go drinking. Okay? I don't want to be dealing with nobody like that.
Like I said, more than pleasant when you're in the mood for it, though.
No bother.
Anyway, we should probably stop boring the one viewer that we have at the moment, and whoever watches in the future. Thank you very much for joining us on this journey. The entire experience has been one of epic adventure and logistics, trying to get us all together at the right time and that sort of thing. But yes, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys when we see you. But be sure to check out everyone's things, and say hi to Scott if you see him about the place. But yeah, I'll be sure to get the information from Laith about what he was wanting to put in the description, and I'll put it in the description of this video. Yeah, anything anyone else wants to say?
Give this man lots of money, because he's a great fun and he's lots of fun to be around, and may he have all the success in the world, and also I get a commission every time he gets money.
Awesome. Well, with all of that, we'll wish everyone good night, and I'll stop the broadcast. Bye.